The year is 2026. For centuries, humans wars were fought on land, then on oceans, then in the sky. But today, the most important battlefield is no longer on Earth. It is above us, in space, around our planet, on the moon, and soon on Mars. For the first time since in the Cold War, the world has entered a new space race. But this time, it's not just about prestige. It is not about planting a flag, and it's not about national pride alone. This time, space is about power, space is about money, space is about military dominance, and space is about who controls the future of humanity. Three nations are leading this race: the United States, China, and India, each with a different strategy, each with a different strength, each with a different vision. This is Space Race 2.0, and the outcome will define the 21st century. In the 1960s, space was a symbol. The United States and the Soviet Union raced to the moon to prove superiority. Whoever reached first would show the world they were the strongest. America won. Neil Armstrong walked on the moon. The world was in awe. And then interest faded. Budgets were cut, missions slowed down, space became a scientific hobby, not a strategic priority. For decades, humanity looked back down at Earth until governments realized something crucial. In the modern world, every phone call, every bank transactions, every GPS signal, every missile launch, every military decision depends on space. The moment satellites became essential to daily life, space stopped being science. It became strategy. Three major changes transformed space into the most valuable domain on Earth. First, satellites became the nervous system of civilization. Without satellites, banking systems collapse, navigation fails, airplanes cannot fly, stock markets freeze, armies go blind. A country without satellites became helpless in minutes. Second, the moon stopped being symbolic. Scientists discovered water ice on the lunar poles, rare earth minerals, helium 3, a fuel that could power clear nuclear fusion for centuries. The moon is no longer a rock in the sky. It is a $1 trillion resources hub. And whoever controls the moon controls access to deep space. Third, space became militarized. Anti-satellite missiles, hypersonic weapons, space surveillance, cyber warfare from orbit. Wars can now be won without firing a single bullet. Controls the satellites and you control the battlefield. That is why the new space race began. The United States entered Space Race 2.0 with unmatched experience. America leads in deep space mission, advanced technology, and private innovation. NASA's Artemis programs aims to return humans to the moon, not for a visit but to stay. A permanent lunar base, mining infrastructure, and a gateway for future Mars missions. Then comes SpaceX. Reusable rockets reduced launch costs by nearly 90%. Starships aims to carry humans to Mars. Starlink already controls the largest satellite networks on Earth. And behind it all stands the US military. The United States operates the most advanced spy satellites in history and created an entirely new branch of defense, the US Space Force. America's strength is clear: advanced technology, private companies, global alliances, but dominance is no longer guaranteed. China is not trying to catch up, China is trying to replace. In just 2 decades, China transformed from a space beginner into a serious challenger. It landed on the far side of the moon, something no country had ever done. It returned lunar samples and plans to build a permanent moon base by 2030. While the International Space Station is nearing retirement, China already operates its own Tiangong, independent permanent strategy. China has also developed some of the world's most powerful anti-satellite weapons. They can destroy satellites in orbit, blinding enemies instantly, and China is expanding its influence beyond Earth. Through its space Silk Road, China is building satellite networks, ground stations, and launch partnerships across Africa, Asia, and the Middle East. China's advantage is not innovation alone, it is speed, coordination, and long term planning. India entered the space race quietly and shocked the entire world. India reached Mars on its very first attempt, landed on the moon's south pole where no nation had ever landed before, and did it at a fraction of the global cost. While NASA spent thousands of crores on Mars missions, India achieved similar success with nearly one-tenth of the budget. This cost efficiency changed everything. India is now working on lunar samples return mission, deep space solar research, and international moon exploration partnerships. India has also demonstrated military space capability, anti-satellite missile tests, space surveillance, integrated defense coordination, and a new ecosystem is rising. Private Indian companies building rockets, satellites, and launch systems. India's strength is unique: low cost, high efficiency, engineering talent, and global trust. India may not move fast, but it moves smart. The moon is a true prize. Whoever controls the moon controls space logistics, fuel supply, and the future expansion. Helium-3 would power fusion reactors. Water ice can be converted into rocket fuel. Lunar bases act as military and scientific outposts. The United States want to secure the moon through Artemis. China and Russia plan a joint lunar base. India is partnering with Japan for exploration and infrastructure. The moon is no longer a destination. It is the Persian Gulf of the future. Modern warfare depends on satellites, missiles detection, navigation, drone coordination, cyber operations, global internet. The country with the strongest satellites network wins wars before they begin. America leads today. China is closing the gap. India is building its own constellation. Space wars, space wars will not look like science fiction. They will be silent, invisible, and devastating. In conclusion, the first space race was about reaching the moon. The second space race is about owning the future. America has technology, China has the ambitions, India has the efficiency. There may not be one winner, but one truth is undeniable. The nations that dominate space will dominate Earth. This is not science fiction. This is geopolitics. This is economics. This is warfare. And the race has only just begun.